Hello from Cincinnati, says Gibson. Nice to see you, Gibson. And we've got Teresa on here with I think Frankie is with you. So, Angel, you said, please bear in mind that we are discussing astrological charts and our speculative interpretations. We're not talking politics. But for those of you who do know a little bit about politics, maybe you could help us try to translate the chart, which is what we're going to do. I've got a I've got a bunch that I think you're going to be really interested in. And I am going to be using the solar return chart for Donald Trump and for the US. If you would like a monthly or yearly prediction, you can go to astrologywithval.as.me and schedule a reading. If you don't see a time there that's good for you, just email me and we can make it happen. Deb, oh, I was going to ask you about your cruise. You're right about my cruise had some bumps in the trip, but overall had a nice time. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I mean, that can happen, and you can still have a nice time during Mercury retrograde when you go on a cruise. A lot of times I find that somebody gets sick. So it's good that you didn't, but somebody will get a cold or, they'll just get an ache or a pain, or somebody I know once got stung by a jellyfish. So unexpected things can happen, but I'm glad. Oh, you were sick too. Oh my gosh. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, there's just a little bit of a bump there. Sometimes it can just be turbulence. But you were sick the first 4 days. Oh my God, you poor thing. So I guess you stayed on the ship then, because you were on a cruise, huh? Naomi, you were born under Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde, when you're born, and it's very common. You have a different thought process often, or sometimes you can speak differently. It's almost like you speak your own language. Sometimes it can actually be kind of like a brilliant mind. You said it was like a nausea, headache, but I laid on deck, then got sunburned. Oh God, that's the worst. Ugh. Well, the thing about those cruises is there's plenty to do, or, if you want to lie around and have some beverages. Grace is a great example. I don't ever notice you stuttering, but yeah, some people can have a little bit of a trouble getting the words from the brain to the mouth. You can see that I do that, but I have Mercury in Pisces. That's why. It does a little bit of a circle around the brain before it comes out. And Addie's here. Nice to see you, Addie. Much love back in New Zealand. Oh, you want to know what's going on and what the Americans are saying, don't you? I know a lot of people are going to come on here for that. You said way too many beverages. See, there you go. It was all for a purpose. So that's great. That's good. Don't forget the secret career code if you want to break down your job chart. How do you do that? You go to the first day, hire date, your start date, and you're going to pull a chart for that. And my book will show you what you can expect at your job and place of employment. And it also helps you with figuring out your career. So, and then of course, Forensic Astrology 101, if you're interested in crime. For the members, that says Friday, but this was in the past. And if you're a member, you can predict the weather with me. I am obsessed with weather. I don't know why. It's been lately. I've been obsessed. So you're going to be seeing more weather predictions, and I'm going out, guys. I am going to be storm chasing, I think, this season. So we'll see what happens. I think I need to get a different car. And this is dropping tomorrow. Justin Bieber's prediction and the Sloan Bella death warning. Have you seen that one? Wow, she really comes out and gives a very interesting video. So definitely check it out and see my assessment that'll drop tomorrow. All right, so this is Donald Trump's solar return 2024 to 2025. So we're in 25 now. We're just finishing up his solar return chart. You're obsessed with space weather too. I cannot believe people do not pay attention to Mercury. Mercury rules the weather. And anytime we have retrogrades, it does affect the weather. So get me a scientist, get me a couple scientists, and let's put a show together. And Naomi Love, I was born under Mercury retrograde, and transits to this are smooth. You're so lucky. Gibson, you love learning about the weather. I do too. That's a great idea, Brenda. Hook up with the Texas Storm Chasers or Brandon Kopic. Yeah, I saw Brandon. I don't know. I think they'd think maybe wouldn't fit in there. Maybe I have to start my own. I don't know. But we'll put the word out. Now, Here is Donald Trump's solar return 2425. And so I'm going to pinpoint where we are right now. You can see a big T square. Good Lord. I mean, it's been difficult yet for him, for his profession, for himself. He has accomplished quite a bit. He has been able to do certain things that he's set a goal for. It's just, whoa, there's a lot of pushback. One thing I like to do in a solar return chart, I like to look at where the benefic planets are or the points. He had part of fortune right around the time he was campaigning. And it was between September and October. It was right around the court case and just all of the Supreme Court ruling. And I mean, it was just a big mess. Part of fortune was then in there. So that will show that you're going to have some success, which he did. And he was able to run for president. Let's move on to where we are right now. April 14th is right here. And we are around right here. He's in Aries right now. And he is making a lot of people angry. Look at that line to Pluto. These are investors. And the eighth house, I mean, this is the stock. Usually, fifth house is a stock market, but still, it's investments. And when you have Mars squaring Pluto, this is enraged. So people are being enraged and they're on social media, 11th house. So it all has to do with money. Mars, you're going to be hearing a lot about a ton of cars and they're all stuck. Right now, Audi and VW, and God knows how many other brands of cars, they're kind of stuck. They're stuck at the docks. So everybody's like not understanding what to do next. They're all in a pickle. We're going to be getting into, we've got Mars activated for a little while. We're going to have that activated, I think, till probably maybe April 21st, 22nd. And then we move on to Venus. So that is going to activate something pretty big. This is the apex of this T square. And so this is what you probably want to hear. You want to hear what this means. Probably you don't want to hear the outcome of it. Some of you might, but we've got Gemini. So Gemini represents the hands. Gemini represents Italy, cars, represents the weather, and it represents IT. It represents twins. So the problem is that we've got Saturn and Moon, and it's all tied up in this T square, which can mean death. It can mean death to the twin. We've got 22 degrees here. The sun is the president, okay? Being in the 12th house, it's kind of like the president hides. We've already seen this. I mean, this past solar return year for him, he has he's already dodged at least one bullet, wasn't it two? So it's kind of like he's hiding in here. So what I would like to know is why is he hiding? So I'm going to pull a couple of cards, and I have a couple of questions about this T square. Who is the twin that's going to die? Because it looks like somebody's going to die. The twin dies. Who is it? And I mean, it's in President Donald Trump's chart. Who is this? Give us like maybe somebody, give us a profile of who it is. Okay. 8 of Pentacles. Okay. So this looks like this could be the web. It could be something is shut down. Maybe the internet's shut down. Whoa. That would be a big one. Is there going to be something? I mean, print out all of your documents, because what does Gemini mean? It means documents. There are no more documents. Does this have something to do with the internet? Ace of Wands. Looks like it. Yeah, there's a talk of blackout of power in Europe, allegedly. Yep. I know. I wanted to get straight to the point. And it looks like people are not able to communicate for something. Will there be a blackout? I mean, Ace of Wands is kind of a blackout, but is there a blackout? The Chariot looks like yes. Yes, and it's gonna be fast. I usually with stuff like that, I usually like to look at Uranus because let me save this. Hold on one second. Because it usually means something that's kind of shocking. But let's look at the chart again. I mean, this looks pretty big. And so this is going to be right. I mean, it's going to activate probably. I mean, I gotta say, Grace, you might have nailed it. That could be around April 20th, April 21st, when Venus activates. We got 22 degrees, which is a really dangerous degree. And we've got a bunch of people who, I mean, I guess, look at this. Look at this. This is the president here. And I've had other shows on this. This isn't the first time we've kind of theorized about this, but this is the president. It looks like there's a group of presidents. It's almost like there's a group of wealthy leaders here. Is there some kind of like Davos or one of those types of meetings? Is that coming up soon? Anybody know? Can anybody do some research? I don't follow that. Oh, Gibson, that's so nice of you. Coffee when storm chasing. I love it. I'll need it. That's great. Thank you. Or for tolls. Is Norman Trump his brother? Isn't he a twin? Oh, yeah, maybe the IRS goes down. God, wouldn't everybody love that? We can still see now there's some other kind of news that's coming up. This is a group of people. They are in a foreign place. I think this might be a foreign trip of some sort. Now, it could simply be that a foreign trip is canceled. I also see a lot of vehicles here. Like this is a ton of vehicles. And remember the chariot. So this has to do with cars. And it could have something to do with, hopefully, it's not traveling in a car that is a convertible in Dallas, because that would be a twin type of event. That's just an example. It's probably going to have something to do with the car industry. And it's unsettling because when there are problems with the cars, then people steal the cars and, it just becomes chaotic. Hopefully, some of you know how to pull your solar return chart. You're going to pull the chart for the last year you had your birthday. So you have to make sure that you get it right. Norman is 78. They look like twins. It's possible. So let's say this is April 20th. Venus is activating here, but then something happens that's quite remarkable. This might be Elon here. This is something that has to do with space. And it seems like it is something that is incredibly big. This could mean that the stock market gets back on track again. And because of Black Moon Lilith there, it's sort of like a little scheme to boost the market again. And I think that's going to come in probably around May 10th. Give or take. So, because since this is May 14th, it's going to come in a few days before that. This is massive success. So, you can see first, there's such anger on Wall Street, and then boom, it's like everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people are very happy on that day. Now it's going to be, we're going to go between May 14th and June 14th. Isn't it interesting? Wow, look at this. I always like to look at this when I'm looking at solar returns. I like to look where the cusp is and if it's on Algol. And sure enough, we've got Algol right here. Algol is the devil. It is it's a bad spot sometimes, especially when Venus is in poor aspect. So we're talking the devil's territory here. It's all throughout this, I would say April 20th through probably about May 16th. It is very tough. So there could be a reason why President Trump is going to be disappearing for a little bit. So he's there in the 12th house. Could just mean a foreign trip. Geez, there's 22 Chiron. There's 22. We might already be looking at the wounds that he took on earlier this year, but it's still active. It's still active, I think. So let's ask a question about Donald Trump. It could be his health too. Hey, Soda Pop, nice to see you. I know scheme being the operative word here. Yeah, I mean, Black Moon Lilith is a scheme. So it's something like, look, let's just do this and that'll make them happy kind of thing. And it seems like it works because they can't be mad forever, right? And so that Mars square Pluto is going to come off there. We're talking in the next couple of months here. We've got the president at 22 degrees in the 12th house in his solar return chart, and it is in a T square. Uh, is this going to be dangerous for President Trump? Okay, looks like Five of Wands. Okay, so there's everybody's competing for something. Looks like a fire sign. Could be a yes. Is somebody going to try to compromise the security for President Trump? Two of Cups. Could be two people. Two people might be doing it. And is there any kind of like revenge? Are people upset about something? What's the motive if something's happening here where President Trump has to be hiding? What's the motive? Oh, the devil. Hmm. Sometimes it can mean temptation, but the devil made me do it type of thing. So, two people. This is a very dark hair person. Are these foreign people that are plotting? Is there a plot against President Trump between April and May? Five of Cups. Could be maybe they're thinking about it. Five of Cups. Can I get a clarifier card for President Trump? Is there some kind of plot against President Trump? Wow, two people on the beach and they're women. Eight of Cups there. Wow, Five of Cups and Eight of Cups. So maybe it has to do with, money related. They're walking away from their lives. Uh, Grace, you said, could it be Musk shutting down Starlink? I thought of that too. Very possible, I think. Think of Mercury. It's going to be like Mercury retrograde times a million. So it's going to seem, I think, kind of chaotic there. I mean, 22 degrees at the sun. We've got, it almost makes me think that there's going to be something wrong with the hands. With Venus there, that can be his wife. So there can be a lot of things going on about maybe negotiating where Melania will be and when. But she seems pretty upset as well. So not sure what that is, but it is with the most important thing is that Saturn is up here, and it just means nobody can really speak to him. It could also mean not being able to speak. So perhaps an authority figure, maybe Trump himself is having trouble speaking. And they've already been talking about that a little bit, that he does have some problems with some of the words. So it's possible that's coming out. But Gemini is usually the Italians, could be attending something that has, or might not be able to attend something. Yeah, it's all clustered in there. But see, he's got Jupiter kind of boosting the house. I like to look at Jupiter in the solar return chart. And like I mentioned earlier, this looks like some good news right before this happens, whatever this is. It's almost like, wow, everything goes again. Jupiter is happiness, expansion, some good news he's going to get right around maybe May 20th. So could be an expansion of the car industry. Could be, people want to start building industrial plants again, and it's good news for him and his career. Now this is 2526 for the solar return of Donald Trump, President Donald Trump. And we've got the South Node in the first house. Now, usually with the South Node in the first house with a square, usually means that somebody is in despair about something. People can see you being in despair because it's part of your identity that year. So it does look like President Donald Trump is upset about something. And There's T square right here. The sun is your body. It's also 22 degrees again. Well, I mean, he's natally 22 degrees, so that's why it's always 22. But in this T square with the nodes at 22, this is something where you kind of feel like you're stuck. You can't really do what you want to do. Some people might like that. Now, he does have some other really positive things coming from this. South Node also, if you have that in your first house in your solar return, it can show that you're going to lose weight, that things around you are shrinking. And it can also mean maybe a spiritual type is around you, or that you're becoming spiritual. Can you imagine that? Maybe we're going to see him at church. First house is how we are going to see Donald Trump. And this starts coming in around June. And it, well, the 10th house is his career. We would look at his sixth house, and that would be Uranus. Right on Algol. So this is his health. And if I were to say anything, I would say there's going to maybe be a few health issues that he has to address. But he keeps going down to the moon here, for a lack of a better term. But this is June to July. Somebody is helping him. Looks like it's the government buildings. He is, I don't know, moon in Capricorn. This is it's like a point of Thales in here. He's able to gain something. And it sure looks like a lot of fame. There are a couple of, it looks like a group of government people that are helping him. And it could just simply be, who that could be. I mean, just could be his employees. But it looks pretty serious. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a card to see what the South Node is there and why there's so much despair for President Donald Trump between June 14th and July 14th. But then I'm going to turn to a couple of other charts. I think you're going to be interested in the USA chart, and it's a little wild. And we're going to compare them. We're going to compare some of these charts. But what is this South Node I'm seeing? And it starts to come in mid-June for President Donald Trump. Let's see what we got here. Five of Pentacles. So I guess he's probably recovering from something. That has to do with money, but he's trying to turn something around. Maybe, I don't know. Hey, Shauna, nice to see you. And some people have noted that President Trump may have lost some weight. I haven't seen that, but interesting. Could the twin be the Pope? Could be just somebody Italian. And that's around the time that we're seeing a lot of Luigi type of news too. So it's going to be a real Italian month coming up. Could be a cyber takeover, possibly. Thanks, Buckeye Clay fan. And Sarah, wasn't supposed to destroy and bring down the ISS. What if that causes something with the debris? I know. It's anybody's guess. That's a good question. Could it be part of him died, like he's impaired in some way? Usually with that, you're looking at Neptune. It's kind of like a paralysis. So am I seeing that? Yeah, actually. That's weird. Okay, look at this. You see Neptune here? Oops, right there. Look at Mercury. There's a square from Mercury to Neptune and Saturn. This is problems with the hand. So that's weird. I mean, I don't think there's been any reports about his hand, but yeah, there's somebody's having trouble with their hand, and it looks like it's coming out here. All right, so let me go back to this for a second. And so he's reversing something that he was kind of upset about. It's still some despair. He's trying to change it. And he does have somebody that's in the government that's helping him. But What else can you give us as far as a clue regarding that south node, which means despair? 2 of Cups reversed. So we already got that. So maybe it's possible that somebody is going to maybe plot something that didn't work. And maybe he's just trying to get over it. It can be very traumatizing, PTSD and all of that when people are against you. Yikes. Okay. Now, so I might come back to this one in a second. I mean, just seeing that T square, it's just, you want a solar return that doesn't have a T square. And some of my best years didn't have a T square, but some really difficult ones have that. And at the apex of the T square is usually the problem. And for him, with the sun being in Gemini in the 10th, it's probably Congress. He's getting locked up. And he's trying to find his way around. But when you see this blue triangle, it shows some kind of success. And Uranus, this could be Elon helping him. It is a famous scientist, it's a famous tech person that is helping him. So it definitely, he's like, President Trump's like, look, we can't do this, this, and this, but this is what we can do. Now, it could actually be something exciting for Americans, even though there are players right now that are absolutely hated. But I think with ninth house, this could be international travel. It could be maybe trying to get transportation going when it comes to long distance transportation. It could just be going up in space. I don't know. But I think I'd like to ask that question. I want to know, are we going to get a better, faster way of transportation than this terrible, terrible transportation industry we have to deal with? Is there going to be any good news for travelers um, in the next 6 months? Any good news for travelers? I know there's a lot more important things, but I just felt like asking it. I keep getting 2 of Cups. It's crazy. Uh, hmm. Okay, partnership. Yes, maybe there are going to be 2 ways. And can we get a clarifier card on what this might look like? Is there a card that has a spaceship on it? Somebody is flying. Um, what does this mode of transportation look like that could benefit um, Americans? The Magician. Ooh, I like that. It's going to be magic. Beam me up, Scotty. I don't know. It's going to be something that's pretty cool, it seems like. Airplanes flying in the stratosphere. Yeah, I know. We need a high speed train like Europe has. Exactly what I was thinking. It's true. He isn't a real scientist. Yeah, it seems like it. So Trump and Musk will still be buddies. It looks like it. Or somebody else like a Bezos, or it's usually the Uranus. Um, you feel like he's dealing with some kind of neurological thing. Yeah, it seems like it. I know, teleportation. That's what the magician seems like. Train across the Gulf of America. Love it. Now, I did a show on the Gulf of America because when you change the name, it means you change the chart, and it looks like it's going to um, it's going to be the catalyst for the Gulf of America. It's got a whole new identity, which may or may not be good. So you have to look at that show. All right. So wait till you see what I have next. I wanted to see the chart, and this is okay. This is just a close up for President Trump's chart. He does have Mars here uh, in Leo, so he's got to watch out for that. That is a hidden enemy waiting to pounce, and it won't happen until later on in his year because of the square up in the other portion of the chart. Um, so yeah, and there's a more of a close up of his solar return chart. You can see that T square here. Uh, yeah, let me see here. There are areas like you always want to look at Jupiter in your chart to see what's going to be lucky and what you're able to do. It doesn't, it's sort of like half and half. It looks a little bit stuck. It looks stuck. The ninth house is the courts. So we want to see where the courts are. Venus is here and it still looks like it's kind of stuck, but he's going to get some wins. That's for sure from the Supreme Court. He already has. Okay, so this is USA 2425. This is where we are right now. Now check this out. We've got the MC, like we're right here right now. Leo has activated, and that would have activated in March. Okay, and then it goes all the way down here to April 4th, 22 degrees. So we're looking at a danger degree. People call it a kill or be killed degree, but it's not always the case. So I do call it the danger degree. And we look where the sun is. And the sun is here. The sun is ruling right now. And you could just see that there's a lot of problems. You can see that there's, this red line. There's people, there's just a lot of pain on all levels. And there's also uh, the nodes are just making him feel stuck. He is stuck. But this is going to end, it's going to come out here, and then we're going to go into Virgo. Now, Virgo is the health part, so he might be addressing his health. And remember, he's talking about a meeting with Iran. And, the meeting with Iran might actually come while we're still in Leo here. And Iran is Saturn, and there's a trine to him. So he might pull some type of crazy thing with Iran. It's very possible. But then we're going to get into and I mean like some kind of deal. Who knows if it sticks. But then we're going to get into Virgo. And Virgo, we got to look at where Mercury is. It's in the ninth house. And this is a problem. This is a problem. This is an opposition with Pluto. So what does that mean? Looks like two kings. It looks like a group of powerful people fall. It looks like something is happening maybe internationally. The ninth house is international. And then we get over into, let's see, May 4th. I mean, we're really in this area. And then we're going to get into this one. And this looks pretty nasty right here. I mean, this could be the part where he's got to be. And remember, this is a USA chart. So this is social media. This is the goal this year. This is community. It is basically social media, but it seems like there could be some kind of scheme happening with social media where again it looks like communications get shut off. So Google your heart away because maybe there'll be a few days, few weeks, who knows, where we aren't going to be able to get some information. I mean, that's what that says to me. Now, just because I wanted to do this, I wanted to look at the USA solar return chart for the year COVID came onto the scene. And so you could see Chiron here, and it is in a, well, it's, first of all, it's in a square to Venus, but it wasn't really until we got into this time period where Uranus kicked in, and Uranus squared the sun, Leo, and Leo is Corona, which of course, we would change the name Uranus to change to COVID, but this would be a virus, it would be a bug. Mars is a bug. It would be a sickness. It would be a shocking sickness. And so that would come in. We'd really start to take notice of it. Of course, it came in a little bit earlier than that, probably in the fall. But this is when everybody was shocked about it. And it's in the eighth house of deaths. So people are really starting to hear about shocking COVID deaths around this time. So this was 2020. This was 2019. So kind of crazy. Um, and yeah, you can also see that the sun is the president. I mean, in the solar return chart, and you can see how there is a big T square with part of fortune. This is your success. And not only did you have Saturn there holding, but Pluto was like, it was like a mountain. It was like a frozen mountain you couldn't get past. And so it would be very hard for the president to, make any progress that year. Now, I am going to show you the USA solar return for 25-26. That's coming up in July. We've got Pluto in Aquarius. So this is going to be a big space here, I think. Aquarius is space way up high. We're going to be looking at Uranus down here. Uranus is the chart ruler, and it's at 29 degrees. Mm, it's not great. It's a little weak, but there is a nice grand trine with part of fortune here. So it's kind of crazy because Pluto in this trine shows shocking success. I know everybody is going to be like, you're out of your mind, but this shows financial success somehow, probably with the markets, I think. But what I also think is interesting is that there is this pretty big planet right there on the ascendant, and that is transforming. So there's some serious, serious transforming of the United States here. Yet there's a square here to Chiron. And this means that there's a lot of wounds. There are a lot of people that are hurt in the meantime. There's also a square here to Scorpio. And Scorpio can show a murder, a very famous murder that's happening. So we are going to, pull out your old, what were some of those books that Harrison Ford, he was in those movies? Like Patriot Games and this is like Patriot Games stuff, where nobody cares what's going on, and it's pretty stressful, pretty shocking, but it looks like the market is going through the roof here. So it's kind of like the 1980s in a sense, is what I'm looking at. Yet at the same time, with all that Scorpio, that could have to do with the mafia. It could have to do with maybe some pain with real estate because of Chiron squared Pluto. I don't know, but keep in mind, remember, does this look familiar to you? This little thing right here. This is the moon and black moon Lilith. This is the bad girl. The bad girl's way up at the top. She's sexy too. This is revenge. This is nasty. This is the nastiest of nasty revenge. And we've got a T square here. So I don't know. I mean, this could be a lot of people. It looks sort of mafia to me. There's a little mafia, but what I was going to say with this little duo up here, this is at the top of the Koberger chart. Kind of crazy. So make of that what you will. We don't really know exactly all the details with Koberger, but it's kind of like it's a woman. It's a woman. Let's ask who this woman is. Hmm. You think it's Jack Ryan? Yes, that's who I was thinking of. I knew you would say that, Angel. You know what I'm thinking. Well, let me see. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Tom Clancy. Right. Right. Yes, it's not a political channel unless I say something political. I'm just kidding. Sometimes I can't help it. Um, Shawnee said, I think it was talked about trains, derailment, so off subject, but this world right now, trains, planes, automobiles, presidents, dictators, I know, everything's wild. Um, oh, you had a massive train derail last night over an overpass. Wow, I did not know that. Interesting. You like Star Trek outfits. I don't know. I never liked that show. I always thought it was weird. I'd love an excuse to dress like Jane Jetson. Kimberly, you said the only way I would do a flying car is if it was computerized. Can you imagine a human flying around like, oh my God, it would be horrible, horrendous. I would just ride my bike. Yeah. Yes, a safe and dependable interstate bus system. I love it. Yeah. Um, okay. So, okay, you mentioned protest on 19th. There's a reason communication goes down around the 20th. Okay. And hope and happiness, trip for Trump. President Trump expressed interest in traveling to China within his first 100 days in office to meet the president. What's his face? Yeah. All right. Now let me see here. Let me hide this. Okay, so let's go. Oh, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to find out. I mean, this looks like, wait till you see the next chart I have that there's some parallels to this chart. You're going to be like, "Oh my God." But with this Scorpio, this looks pretty bad. This looks like a big murder. Pluto means murder, and squaring the moon and Black Moon Lilith, this is evil, evil, evil. So can you tell us more information about this murder? Wow. A pregnant female. Maybe it has something to do with pregnancy. Maybe it has something to do with abortion. Um, not that I'm, not to say I'm being political about that or not, but wow, weird that I'd be asking about Scorpio, which means pregnancy. And I never get that card. Like I got that card one time way, way back. What was it in September? So, can you give us a clarifier card when it comes to Scorpio in the USA chart showing some serious, I mean, this is a big, big deal. This is a shock of someone gets killed and people are in shock. How do I ask this? Is this who is this person? Can you give us more of a profile of who this person is that is going to be part of this big murder? Six of Wands reversed. Could be a celebrity, could be somebody in the spotlight. Somebody in the spotlight goes down. And so, does this have to do with censorship or speaking out against somebody and then there is some kind of retribution? Okay, world. So maybe it more affects the world. It looks pretty big, though. It looks pretty big. So, I mean, this isn't just like one person. This could be like, what is Scorpio? What is Pluto? This is Iran. This is the Middle East. Could this be something that has to do with the Middle East that's coming up in June? End of June. Temperance, which usually is a good card, and it usually means balance. So balance of power, or maybe that's what they're thinking. I don't know. Hi, Carolyn. Maybe Melania, possible. Yeah, I agree, Deb. It is difficult. Thank you, though, Brenda and Angel, for keeping everybody from speaking their full minds. No, but you know what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Angel D. Yes, please hit the like button. And Scorpio, long dark hair. Uh, is this something that's gonna affect President Trump personally? 4 of Wands, doesn't look like it. It just affects it's a group of people that are partying. I wonder if this has to do with some kind of big event. Maybe it's a concert. It could be a stadium, but it's in June. It seems like it would be in June, but there could be another few months because Pluto has an aspect to other months. But what's going on in end of June? This could mean, maybe could this be an attack on, like, a stadium? 9 of Swords. Seems like it. So it looks like it's pretty big. It is pretty big. Okay. God, I wasn't even expecting to get anything like that. Okay, so let me see here. So now keeping your eye on the fact that the ascendant for the USA this year, starting in July, is an Aquarius, which means a shock, a total shock. It can mean falling. Um, it can mean futuristic. Can mean that the U.S. is suddenly becoming a visionary type of country. It's divorces. It's to split. It's to cut. It's also, oh, you know what this is? I wonder if this is a hurricane. This is a hurricane. This is the big one. This is the monster hurricane. Wow. So maybe it has to do with the stadium, but this is a big, big, maybe it's a weather event. So that's a possibility. But keeping your eye on Aquarius, let's go to another chart. This is the US solar return chart for 1963, 1964. And this is the year that President Kennedy was killed. And he was killed in the fifth house here between November 4th and December 4th. Mercury was, no, actually, it wasn't Mercury. Mercury had just stopped activating. It was the moon that activated. Moon in, um, wow, moon in Capricorn and then opposing Mercury. So there was a female and there were two people, there was a group in a car. So that was kind of activating there. So there's an opposition, but keep in mind that what would be the personality of the US for this year, the ascendant would be in Aquarius. Everyone was shocked. Saturn at 22. So Saturn, everybody was really sad. And and also this is Leo. So this is the president. This could also be the president. And you could see that he died. Saturn is to die. Ugh. So it's kind of heavy, but kind of weird that we would see this is a twin chart in a sense, because it is an Aquarius chart. Couldn't help but notice that. So there it is, a little bit bigger. Had a lot of planets in there. 3. You knew it was going to be kind of the same that we're looking at now in this chart for the for Donald Trump's solar return chart. He's got a lot of planets in the 12th house, which is coming up. So I'm not trying to say that anybody's plotting against him. I just have questions about it. That's all. And it just it was tough with the moon. The moon in Capricorn. Trying to think how it's so interesting with Uranus there. That is a shock. That's a big, big shock. And this shock was famous. So that was what's so interesting though is Capricorn is the government. And if you're in the group that thinks that the government was shutting down this person, this very famous person and his wife, that person was part. That's so weird because Trump has moon in Capricorn, doesn't he? Let's look. Um, Yeah, there it is. Moon in Capricorn again. And it's squaring Chiron. So he's got to be careful. He's got to be careful. This is coming in more in the fall, though, probably around October 12th. And then also the next year, too, when the moon activates. Mm. So, when it comes to, the summer for him, let's get off the track of, major tragedies. He's gonna be Mercury coming in, so that's gonna be Mercury here, and got some good things that are happening for him, with Mercury activating. Then it moves to Venus, and that's gonna be probably the beginning of July. Venus activates here, more probably about the stock market. Yikes. It it looks like there's another problem again. This could be something that has to do with real estate, but probably stocks, Bitcoin, that kind of thing. So you look for Donald Trump has 2 T-squares. This is not easy. So he's gonna have to try to work through those through the year. It certainly shows that he's gonna be blocked. But this person up here, this is a foreign guy. I think this is Elon. He's really helping him. He's helping him do whatever he wants. It's kinda crazy. This person here is trying to stop Elon. And let's see, Mars rules the 8th house. So, somebody, I don't know. Gosh, I mean, that looks like somebody's coming for Elon. Let's see here. That could be 2026. Let's ask about Elon. What are we looking at here? We're looking at Uranus squaring Mars. This is somebody who is is getting shocked by somebody who they can't see. What is this that I'm seeing? Whoa. Knight of Swords. Somebody's running away. Is Elon in danger? Around early March, late February, early March 2026. 2 of Wands. Probably worried, at least very. Ooh, oh my God, my deck just told that never happens either. Good Lord, it's too many cards. But yeah, it looks like somebody's angry that it does seem like there's a lot of success that's happening between Elon and Trump. So don't ask me. I look at the chart. Now, if this chart is activating the way I think it's going to activate in these next couple of months, Trump has quite a bit of hiding to do. I mean, okay, thank you, Grace. What has Barron been up to lately? I wonder. I know we should look at his chart one night when I pull it. So maybe Pam Bondi, yes. Endings. I know. There's the moon and Cappy again. What chart was that earlier? That was the 1963-64 chart, solar return chart for the U.S. when President Kennedy was killed. So, yeah, I know. Wow. Carolyn Levitt or whatever her name is. That would be pretty shocking. Ms. Loomer. When is the next Blue Origin flight? Just wondering from Atlanta. That's coming up. I think the ladies are getting suited up for it. I don't know if they have a date yet, but maybe it's May or something like that. I know. He also appears to have a drop foot. Yep, Tiffany, she's getting ready to have a baby, I think. I think it could be a literal hurricane. I do. In late July, because it just looks like a lot of cars are. Wait, was it? No, that was the next chart. Yeah, I don't know. I think it could have something to do with the weather and maybe an attack. So, yeah, maybe did he? Mhm. Yeah, that could have been a celebrity, I think we were talking about. Maybe some kind of, concert. I don't know. But I'm gonna say this, the next let's see, we're in April, May, June, July. Next 3 months are going to be pretty interesting. And I think, we're just gonna have to be taking notes, looking at the charts, pulling the cards, and thank you so much for joining me tonight. I will be back tomorrow with something else, and I'm also gonna drop that video for, the charts and Justin Bieber and Sloane Bella, so I know. Yeah, it could be a huge earthquake, thank you. That Pluto in, Aquarius with a square, whoa, that could be a massive, massive earthquake, and it could be something that's in maybe Middle Eastern territory too. Maybe Iran has the earthquake, I don't know. So thanks, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.